it would be easy for me to blame you.
Whatever, you already blamed me.
Right. Hey Flo, are you feeling better?
I am feeling better, but now you're not feeling so great. Well, it has been a rough week. I've been sick, and I find that, I don't know if it's because I'm older now, but whenever I get sick, it just like hits me like a ton of bricks, and I am in bed for days and trying to recover and gain some energy. Yeah, maybe it's a part of it is just not being so healthy. I don't really get much exercise, so maybe it's just that. I don't know. I blame my daughter. She was the one who was sick first. Right. She just made a face at me. So one thing I can't stop thinking about are those spring rolls we had at that mall during Chinese New Year.
They were so good.
They were so good. They're super simple, so I'm going to try to recreate it here. But if you want to check out that video, you can check it out over here. We talk a little bit about Chinese New Year and what that means to us. And yeah, so I am starting off with half a pound of pork tenderloin, and I'm going to cut it up into little, I don't know, strands, I guess. Strips. They have to be small enough so that when you bite into it, especially like that would be too big a piece, right?
Yeah.
In a spring roll, so I would like cut it even more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're gonna do. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to do that. Like there's so many different recipes for spring rolls, and when you go to dim sum or even different cultures have different spring rolls. Everybody has a spring roll in Asia, it seems.
Well, what's not to love about deep fried little things?
So in the Philippines, they have lumpia, which is essentially a spring roll. And you have Vietnamese spring rolls, but the wrapper's a little bit different from Cantonese spring rolls. Anyways, my filling is going to be super simple. I'm just using pork and bean sprouts, some garlic and seasoning, and that's it. And hopefully it will come out somewhat similar. I also don't like to deep fry at home, so we're going to do these in the air fryer. And the reason why I don't like deep frying at home is because, one, I think it's a waste of oil, and two, I don't like the smell of deep frying. I don't like that smell to linger in my house. All right, we're gonna marinate the meat a little bit. I have some Shaoxing wine. I'm only going to use about a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of, what is this? Cornstarch. Half a teaspoon, I said. And about half a teaspoon of sesame oil. And about a quarter teaspoon of salt. About a quarter teaspoon of white pepper. This is ground white pepper. And we're just going to let that marinate for a little bit, like not long. We're just going to heat up our pan, and then we're going to cook it. So the meat has been marinating for like, I don't know, 3 minutes or so while I set up. And I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to my hot frying pan. Just going to add all of it to the pan. Add 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to put them in my garlic press. Cook that for another 30 seconds or so until you can start to smell the garlic. And if you want more garlic, you can add more garlic. If you don't want garlic, you can omit it altogether. It's up to you. I've already rinsed my bean sprout. I have half a pound of bean sprouts. I add all of that in. once it's cooked down just a little bit, I'm going to add the rest of my seasoning. About a tablespoon of soy sauce. Another 2 pinches of salt. Use about a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Another teaspoon of sesame oil. And another pinch of white pepper, maybe 2. Stir that in. I'm just going to cook down the bean sprouts a little bit more. Turning off the heat, and I'm going to transfer it into a bowl. So there's not much liquid left, which is fine because you don't want a wet spring roll. And I think as this settles, it's going to release some more liquid into the mixture, which will be fine also. We have to wait for this to cool completely and actually refrigerate it for about half an hour to an hour so that it's really cold before we wrap it in our spring rolls. So this mixture is pretty dry. There's no sauce, which I think it should be okay though. Anyways, here are the spring roll wrappers. I found them in the freezer section at the Asian store. And I think they're like 8.5 by 8.5 inches squared. And there's 24 sheets in here. I'm going to start with just a couple of spoonfuls of filling. So maybe 2 tablespoons of filling. About 2 inches from a corner. And roll it a few times, I guess until you get to this point. Then we're going to fold it over an envelope. Maybe it's just the first one.
I hope so.
I hope so too. It actually turns out to be quite big. And we're just going to use some water to seal it. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know if that was too much filling or not, but we're going to try another one. This one's working better because I actually released the whole thing before. The whole sheet for wrapping. And this is more square.
Yeah, that looks a little bit better. But it all comes down to the taste.
Are you actually going to be able to taste anything with your cough cough?
I'm going to do my best. I'm doing it for the team. Hashtag, you know what? We've been seeing hashtag team flow in the comments a lot more.
What is that all about anyways?
I don't know. What's going on, guys?
So I just dampened some paper towels and to cover the remaining spring roll wrappers so they don't get hard.
All right.
All right, what are we going to do now? I am going to mist these with oil, or you can brush on vegetable oil. Can I fit them all in here? Just fits. Turning it on at 400, and we're going to cook them for 4 minutes. We're going to cook them for 4 minutes, and then we're going to flip them and see how many more minutes we need to cook. All right, looking pretty plain still. I'll flip them over. We'll do them for another 4 minutes. I bet you if we deep fried them, they would have been ready by now.
Oh, yeah.
But they do feel hard. Okay, go, 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 go. golden. Another 4 minutes. Or how about 3? We'll check. I don't know, dude. These are not like golden the way it should be golden.
Well, it's not. We already knew that it's not going to be the same as deep fried.
And now it's time for...
Woohoo! The taste.
Yo, Sicky.
The taste. The taste. The taste. Yeah, I'm sick, but when it comes to spring rolls, I'm down. It sounds pretty crispy to me. Not the same as deep fried. Nothing is the same as deep fried. Usually when I have these spring rolls, it's we have it for dim sum, and it comes with a Worcester sauce. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And you dip it in there, but I'm gonna eat it on its own to get a full sense of the flavor of the filling and the wrapper. Okay, you listening?
Okay. Okay, it sounds pretty crispy. Is it hot inside?
The difference from the one at the food court was that the filling had a sauce that countered, kind of oozed out a little bit, and it countered the crispiness of the wrapper.
Okay.
So maybe next time work in a bit more gravy or more sauce.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's your first time. The flavor of the filling, nice. No super strong flavors, just a subtle, great accompaniment to the wrapper.
Would it be yummy with a sweet and sour sauce or
Yes.
spicy chili sauce or
Whatever sauce that you usually rock with deep fried appetizer, you could use with this, and it'll go great because the filling doesn't overpower the rest of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Mm-hmm. Good.
They're good enough.
Oh, more than good enough, girl.
I don't need to deep fry.
Nope.
Awesome. So we only were able to make how many? 4, 8, 12, 13 altogether. And I think it was because my filling, I didn't really make a whole lot of filling, and there were 24 wrappers. So the rest of the wrappers I'm going to put back in the freezer. But if you do end up making like all 24, but you don't want to eat all 24 in one sitting, I would freeze them. Like, so for example, these can go into the freezer like this. And then once they're frozen, I would put them in a bag, and then you can heat them up when you need them.
You can have your own frozen treats. You don't need to go to Costco to load up.
That's true. If you just make a whole batch all at once. All right, remember all the tools that we use in our videos can be found in the description below. And every time you purchase an item off one of our links, it really helps the channel. So we really appreciate that. And if you don't already, please subscribe to my channel down here. You can find my cookbook right here and more recipes over there. Till next time, be simple, ordinary, and joyful.